ran a really solid practice today. How did you feel it came out of play?
I did good. You just barely got here, so we'll learn more as time goes on.
Nice to have River back running around.
Yeah.
How did you think he looked today?
I looked good. I looked good yesterday too.
When you have Gabe Marks kind of making some of the plays that he does at receiver, do you feel ever about maybe changing your mind about redshirting, or you're pretty committed to that decision right now?
We're committed to it.
On Monday, you spoke about wanting to get the running backs more involved in the offense. What needs to happen for that to happen?
Really just identify what the defense is doing and just, sometimes in the air, sometimes on the ground, but just keep them involved, make sure that they're more involved than they were last game.
Based on what you saw on tape, were they open last game? Were they usable?
Yes.
How excited are the guys to get back to Pullman for their first game of the year?
I think they're excited. Really, we've had 2 road games, so I think they're excited to be back here.
Could you speak about how, if the running backs were being used like you liked, how that would affect the rest of the offense?
Well, in the end, they should have more yards than everybody, They should have more yards than everybody by position. I mean, we've had, historically have had guys league conferences and all-purpose yards, without even doing a lot of special teams. In one guy's case, he didn't do any special teams, led the conference in all-purpose yards, and so need to get it in their hands a bunch.
Saw some red zone work with the first team offense, first team defense over there on the far side. How'd you think the teams looked there?
I thought it looked good. We do it every week, though. I mean, it's the same we do every week.
When Gabe makes a couple of these big plays for the scout team offense, is it more indicative of that he's just such a good athlete and there's some good receivers over on the scout team, or that it's a little bit of a concern for the defense?
Both, I think. Probably both.
Do you feel like with the running backs being underutilized in the first 2 games, has that made the spacing a little tighter for the 4 receivers?
Yeah, probably. It's just a resource, so we need to use more.
When you've been looking at film of Portland State, we mentioned during the press conference how they really thrived against Oregon State and Cal. What were they doing right in those games that allowed them to stick around?
They're a good team. They play real hard, and they're honestly not that far off those teams. They got good quality guys, and they do a lot of good things. I mean, their first-level guys are very similar. So,
do you think that's maybe not a concern, but that's something to be watching for, that this is their Super Bowl, playing an FCS or FBS Pac-12 team like you guys, that this is their biggest game of the season? Is that something that your team is aware of?
We need to worry about how we play. We need to worry about ourselves and playing our best.
Mike, do you think the gap between the top FCS teams and Pac-12 or FBS teams is smaller than it used to be?
I think always the first-level guys have been similar. It's then where you get to the second-level guys where, the bigger schools have more scholarships that distinct, there's more distinction.
How similar is Portland State's pistol to Nevada's pistol?
Somewhat. They play 2 quarterbacks, so the second quarterback's more of a thrower.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.